Mm-hmm.
Webinar is now live on YouTube.
Is that right?
Humana.
Yeah. That's what it says. Still, every time I do this, it shows a little progress bar. Like it's got to take a while.
Yeah.
That's usually what progress bars mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then it goes right to being done. It's right. It's done already.
D-U-N done.
D-U-N-N.
That's not how you spell done.
No? You sure?
Pretty sure.
CJ was being sarcastic.
That's me all the time. Hello and welcome to episode 703 of the Player One Podcast. For Tuesday, April 28th, 2020, I am your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
Something happened with your microphone there.
Did
the hello.
Yeah.
That was fun. That's good.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
As well as can be expected, I guess.
Okay.
Good.
Madness is setting in. I really wish my kids could go back to school.
Cabin fever.
Really wish I could go back to work.
Yeah. Are you, schools there canceled for the year? Is that like
not officially, but I mean,
here?
There's also no talk of sending them back.
Right.
So
right.
I think actually we should hear something this week because I think that they were saying May the last time, which
It's
actually
about to be May.
Pretty late. So I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
they've already canceled it and I'm not. I don't know. The whole listen, man, we're in the 4th year of April at this point. I don't know what happened last week.
Right. Yeah.
And plus it's, Nova Scotia's been a little bit crazy over the last week. So
yeah.
fair amount
Understandable.
Fair amount of terrible news going around.
And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Dear kittens down Christmas.
Oh, Lord.
Man, were you
like
listening to your Sega CD sampler? Or
no.
He just knows that
I
song.
haven't got a clue.
Well, no, that's the second song he's been singing now that
no.
we're on the
I haven't
the rock
got a
paintings
clue.
disc.
True. Yeah.
Our salesman pretty
Wasn't
tricky.
That one wasn't on the rock paint. That one was
That was the music video.
CGG
This
disc.
gossip really.
No, it was
No.
the disc you sent away for that was like
I
music
haven't got
videos.
a
No, it came with the system
Oh,
came with
no.
it came with a sampler.
haven't
It
got
was
a
just a music
clue.
sampler and also a CD plus
You can
G
stop singing
sampler.
there, Phil.
I will
And
never stop singing. How
That
dare
was
you?
that was on the music disc,
It was also on virtual VCR.
Virtual
But-
VCR, yeah.
but
'Cause I
the
remember
CDG
watching the
disc,
video.
he was singing a song that was on the
I
CDG
want to
disc earlier.
know
Yeah,
what
Information
you're
Society.
thinking.
Yeah, that one was on the CD. poster.
There were
Yeah.
some things you can't hide.
I remember being very impressed by the virtual VCR.
I never. That's one thing
Back in the day.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
What, virtual VCR?
No?
No.
What? Really?
No,
Oh man,
it's
I
just
have it
never a
somewhere.
disc I've come across. I
got,
want it.
it's got the Mr. Big video
I know it
on
is
there.
Mr. Big. Mr. Big's
Yeah.
kind of just completely linked with Sega.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Spencer Nielsen. So
It's got Too Much Joy on there.
Right.
The Too Much Joy video is directed by and has cameo appearances from Penn and Teller.
Ah,
So there you go.
going back to that Mr. Big song,
Mm-hmm.
because when that song was big,
Bah.
the one who
I
wants
was in
to
high school,
be-
and
so were we all.
yeah, no, the student council had
Oh,
one of the things that they did at our
were you
school
on the
was they
student
got a-
council?
No, they
Oh.
got a
Nerd.
jukebox for the cafeteria, a jukebox,
Really?
so that it
Wow.
played during lunch. And one
I'm
of
sure
the
that
songs
wasn't a
on there
fight
was
at
the
all.
Mr. Big song, and at first everybody was like, okay, I could deal with the Mr. Big, like that song, fine. It kept coming up.
That song, I don't
Somebody would
think.
just
I
keep
mean,
played it.
do you remember how huge that song was?
Oh,
That
of
song
course,
was
yeah.
crazy popular, and I was sick of it by the end.
But at a certain point, it started getting booed.
Yeah.
Every time it would come up, it was great. I think they had to take it out of the jukebox at a certain point because it was just like creating such a ruckus.
Too many
Yeah.
riots in the,
The lunchroom.
cafeteria at CJ's school.
That's right.
Did
The
you,
lunchroom?
CJ, when you
What?
wanted to play the jukebox hit at your high school? Did you walk over to it and just pound the glass and it would like
You know
instantly
it.
start up?
Hey,
And then you'd like snap your fingers and a couple of hot dames would come in from either side and grab your
Playing
arms.
ZZ Tops.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Exactly.
That is a reference to a television show called Happy Days from the 1970s.
made to look like the 1950s.
Made to look like the 1950s. I would imagine there's a solid chunk of our listening audience that has never seen an episode of Happy Days.
It was a very popular show.
I haven't
It
seen an
was?
episode of Happy Days in a long time.
Well, that's true.
Well, that's
Is
because
it
it
on
went off
streaming
the air
somewhere?
like 35 years ago.
I have no idea.
It should be.
I have no idea.
I wonder, is that another? Did that show have a lot of licensed music? I know, like just thinking of like WKRP, which is a fantastic show.
I don't think it did.
No, okay.
I don't think so.
I don't believe it did.
Because that's like the real shame about that show, WKRP in Cincinnati, which I loved.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't think you can get it on disc, or if you can, all the
You
music,
can,
because
yeah.
there
All the
was a
music's
music
different.
station
They
that
stripped-
they were
they
at,
stripped-
but they stripped all the music out, which
Oh,
kind of
okay.
sucks.
Yeah.
Or they replaced it, I assume.
Baby,
They replaced it
if
with
you ever
sound
wondered-
alikes and needle drop
wondered
music.
whatever became
Yeah.
of me.
It's too bad. It's a great
I'm
show.
It's too
living
bad.
on the air in Cincinnati.
I don't think I've actually seen an episode of WKRP.
What?
Cincinnati,
I don't think so.
WKRP.
Man, we used to watch that because I think it was
That was a
when
good
we were
show.
really watching it. I think it was in syndication,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
it was on like every day, every evening after
Oh,
supper.
yeah.
Pretty much, it was on, and we would that was part of our regular rotation with like the evening news. Carol Burnett,
Yeah.
Carol
which
Burnett.
I adored that show, and
Yeah.
WKRP.
Yeah.
We watched that every day.
Watched a lot of MASH.
Oh, yep, MASH
way.
as well. I really
I
loved
watched-
MASH. Too.
I
That was
watched a
great
lot
show.
of What's Happening and,
What's happening and what's happening
and
now.
What's Happening Now, the follow-up series. Exactly.
Watched
Watched a lot of
that.
watched a lot of
We're-
Three's Company
Yep.
Yeah.
Three's
back in
Company.
the day.
Three's
So-
Company.
Yep.
Man, we're really
Memories.
really aging ourselves.
Three's
Really
Company.
dating ourselves here.
Three's Company, I'll have you know, is where I first learned what a homosexual is. Because that was the
That was the big joke, right?
that was the premise of the show.
Mr.
Was
Furley. Is that his
well,
name?
because Mr. Furley was
Mr.
was
Furley,
Don
but-
Knotts.
Jack was his name, right?
John Ritter.
John
This is
Ritter.
the
You're
star of
messing
the
up the
show.
characters.
No, but wasn't his
Like,
character Jack?
Have you even
He was
seen
Jack,
Three's Company?
yes.
Yeah,
Come
hey,
on.
I got it
Come
right.
on.
The character
He
was
was
Jack.
he was Jack,
Thank you.
and Mr. Furley,
Thought he was
Don
gay.
Knotts, was the landlord. And yeah, because the premise was Jack was living with Janet and Chrissy, the
That's
two
right.
hot young ladies, and the
And
landlord
apparently, that
would
was
not-
only acceptable if he was gay.
Well, because the idea was he didn't want any hanky panky. The landlord, Mr. Furley,
Right.
didn't want hanky panky going on, so Jack had to pretend to be gay so he could live with the girls.
Also,
and then
John Ritter, hilarious.
Hilarity. Oh, John Ritter, forget it.
Hilarity
Like
ensued.
Yeah.
amazing.
John Ritter was, but yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. John Ritter is
Yeah.
great. Don Knotts also great.
Alan
It's
Alda,
true.
also great.
Not in
No, but you were talking about MASH earlier.
MASH. Yeah, MASH. Yes.
Did you hear?
I
they're
did.
Doing an episode of Parks and Recreation this week that is social distancing, sort of a Zoom meeting style episode of Parks and Rec.
Pretty cool.
That's
Is
pretty
that-
excellent.
Is that going to be good?
No,
I mean, it can't be, right?
I'll
No.
watch it.
Is it now? Is it still? Is it?
I like Parks and Rec a lot. By the way.
Oh, I love Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
Never
Minus
really
that
got
first
into it.
season.
because I
first
never got
season
through the
was-
first season.
Oh, skip the first season.
Just start the
Yes.
second season.
Skip the first
So
season.
many other things
You are.
to watch now.
Yeah, but Parks and Rec.
It's so good though.
Parks and Rec is really damn good when you get past that first season, which is abysmal.
Yes.
But because the thing about Parks and Rec was Parks and Rec for its final season did that really stupid time skip where they skipped ahead like what 2 years,
That's correct. Yeah.
and which is I believe it's in our past. The
Now it
time
is, yes.
the time skip is in our current past, but everyone had like futuristic like holographic phones and tablets and crap. And it was a stupid idea
Well, I mean,
back when they
Right.
did it, where everyone has like translucent phones with like screens that project like 6 inches above the actual device, and it looks stupid and it's
you mean like
wildly
Iron Man
impractical.
and all the Marvel?
Yes, yes.
I was gonna say that they do the exact same thing in the MCU.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that was all like Tony Stark's kind of proprietary crap.
That's
This is
fair.
like every iPhone has the stupid hollow screens.
Right.
Are they going to maintain that?
Now, if they'd done that back in the 80s,
Yeah.
said
Oh,
it
yeah.
was like
Yeah.
2012,
Yeah.
it would
If this
have
was
been fine.
If this was Three's Company Future,
Yeah.
you know, the classic 1986 series Three's Company Future, where it's like old Jack and his holographic phones
Right.
getting into wild sexcapades based on
The only way to get into
misunderstandings.
wild sexcapades.
But
I will say I'm very happy to see this Parks and Rec episode. Like, I'll watch it, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sponsored by State Farm. They made sure to
oh, really?
make that clear.
Okay. Okay.
But it would have been great to see an episode of The Office done this
Yeah.
way. But like Carell Office.
Steve Carell wouldn't do that.
That's the thing. Like The Office.
Let's rewind to like as if this was happening in season 5.
Yeah.
Those last
Then,
couple
okay.
seasons of The Office are dire.
You'd have
Yeah.
most of the good cast there, but you'd never. I don't think they'd ever get Steve Carell. So
No.
not worth it.
So
Right,
is
right.
Chris Pratt going to be in this?
Yes.
Oh man, Chris
Yeah,
Pratt
they've
he's
already
slumming
shot
it.
it. Yeah.
He's slumming it back on TV, huh?
I guess so.
Oh man,
Yeah.
very nice.
And I guess they did another episode of Saturday Night Live this week that was
Mhm.
the social distancing
Mm.
episode. They did that once about 2-3 weeks ago. I thought it was okay.
Was it funny?
It's okay, yeah.
Because that would be
Has
a
it been
first for
funny?
Saturday Night Live.
Except during Weekend Update, they had like other people on the Zoom call that were laughing at the jokes.
Oh,
And
Nah.
that doesn't
Did
that
they-
doesn't really play all that well. You
Like
have
what-
2 or 3 other people laughing at.
were they supposed to be laughing? Was that part of the bit? Was
Yes.
They had one guy on the
No,
Zoom
no,
call
no.
holding up the laugh sign.
or did like they just forget to mute their mics?
No, they didn't
Oh.
forget to mute their mics. It was
Did
intentional.
they dial in Jimmy Fallon and Horatio Sands to
I don't
just
know if it.
break
Yeah, I don't know
character
if it
and
works
laugh
that
at
well
everything?
though, because on Zoom, everybody's mic, there's no like levels on
It's
people's
terrible.
microphones,
Right,
so
right.
the laughing was the same volume as the person telling
Ugh.
the joke. It was very,
Well,
very awkward.
uh,
But
we're
hey.
learning. You know what? It's our first pandemic in a while. We're learning. We're getting there.
Everybody's learning how to do it, right?
Give us some time.
Yeah.
Do
Well, we got
Well,
some
I'm done
video
with you
game-
guys. I'm gonna be right back.
We got some
Okay.
video game news.
we? Well,
Are
Greg's
you actually
leaving. now.
leaving? Greg's
Yeah,
leaving.
he was actually leaving. He's got stuff to do. He's a busy guy. How have you been?
Great. Good. Do you notice I have a haircut? Got a haircut.
Oh yeah, your wife cut that, right?
My wife cut my hair.
That's you know that's is she
Solid.
has she cut hair before?
No, she has not.
Because that's
I'm
pretty
very
good.
impressed.
That's
Very
pretty
impressed with
good.
This I gotta say.
I don't
And we use just regular kitchen scissors, like
Right, right.
craft
because see I
scissors.
don't know, and you know this is not meant as an insult, and I'm sure she would agree. I don't
Mm.
know if I would trust Dana to cut my hair, and I don't think
Right,
she
I
would
was
trust
very-
herself to cut it.
I was pretty nervous about it. I gotta say, I held off doing it for like a day and a half because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not sure about this.
Although I would trust her to cut my hair significantly more than I would trust myself to cut her hair. Because I would
Definitely.
like
I don't trust myself on that.
no, I would mess that up. Because I would try and do like I would try and remember, okay, what does a barber do? I've had haircuts.
Right.
What is
right.
they kind of pull it up and then they snip, they don't just snip at the base because that's ridiculous. You
No,
gotta pull it up a little bit and snip off the stuff that's sticking out the top of your fingers. But it's like, are you measuring? Are
Right.
you like
How do-
eyeballing? Like, oh, this is
and
2
especially like
inches.
a woman's haircut, I'd be like, I don't know.
No,
I don't know
Yeah,
where
I
to
don't know.
start with that. Cut
don't
the
know.
ends off. Is that
I
a
don't know.
thing?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's gonna end up looking like this if I did. it.
Well, then you know what? She
Go
would
with
look
what you
very
know.
she would look very handsome. What do you think about that?
There you go.
Go ahead. Go ahead and nicely go for it.
Yeah, my daughter held a little like we had like we'd gotten one of the Easter Bunny had brought one of those like big plastic eggs that had a bunch of candy in it.
You
So
sure
my
you didn't
daughter
just-
was holding the
didn't- you
bottom
didn't-
of the egg.
You didn't just buy it the Easter. You don't have to play with me, dude. I know the Easter Bunny ain't real.
I don't know who's
keep,
watching this though.
you don't have to keep
I don't
that
know who's
illusion
watching
going.
this.
The Easter Bunny's very real.
Yeah, so we used the bottom of the plastic egg. My daughter held it
to catch your hair.
To catch the hair, yes.
Why didn't you just go get it done in the bathtub? Go sit in the tub and do it there.
Could have.
That way your daughter's not playing kaboom with your friggin' hair,
That's
man.
basically what it was. Yeah, game of kaboom with the hair.
Just go sit in the tub and have her do it there.
What are we talking about?
CJ got going off on one of his. CJ got going.
Came back for that line
because we were talking about like the Three's Company sexcapades.
Oh.
Keep in mind, this is an actual.
Be through news.
This is an actual Three's Company bit, where like someone overhears like the exact wrong thing, and starts like, "Oh, wait a second, what's going on?
Misunderstanding."
Jack's boinking Janet. Is that what's happening?
Good for him.
Oh man.
No, I was telling Phil that my wife gave me a haircut this week.
Oh yeah, right.
A haircut.
It looks kind of
looks fine. It looks good, right?
Yeah, it's passable, right?
He's
like
ready to go pick up some chicks down at the Regal Beagle.
Yeah. The Regal Beagle.
Regal Beagle.
The Regal Beagle.
I don't even know what that is.
That was the nightclub in Three's Company.
Three's Company? Oh, really? Okay.
Jack would always go with his buddy Larry.
How much room you've got in your brain for
I watched a lot of Three's Company
trivia, like for 40-year-old television shows.
It's more like 50 years. I think we're knocking more on 50 at this point with Three's Company.
Wasn't it in the mid 80s? I guess 70s.
I was watching it in syndication in the mid 80s.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think it was probably a late 70s, early 80s show. But Jack's buddy was named Larry, and he always reminded me of Leisure Suit Larry because he was like a sleazy kind of womanizer kind of guy.
True.
And they'd always go to the Regal Beagle clubbing, looking for dames, looking for hot chicks, looking for some fine tomatoes, if you know what I mean.
No.
Because that's what you can say on TV.
Classy lassies, yeah.
All right, should we do some video game news?
This episode brought to you by Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Baja Blast.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's right.
Baja Blast.
That is a
Parks and Rec has State Farm. We have Mountain Dew.
That is a Taco Bell original flavor. Now available in cans. So drink up, pandemics.
Okay, then.
Pandemaniacs.
So not much news happening last week, really.
Weird how that's
not much video game news. Let's say that. Is that more correct?
I don't know.
But we got the announcement of the last major Super Mario Maker 2 update.
Oh, yes.
So, and this is a big one. It's a doozy, really. The biggest feature being that you can now make an entire world of levels. So you can have like a level progression and a little mini world map and everything, and upload that for people to play.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. I've yet to dig into that, but another really interesting thing, there's a lot of stuff in this update, but they added the Super Mario 2 mushroom.
Finally,
which
CJ.
Changes some of the gameplay to be Super Mario 2-esque, including being able to jump on the heads of enemies and pick them up.
Huh.
Yeah, and dig and all sorts of different things. So it doesn't add like a completely new rule set, unfortunately, but they have added some aspects of Super Mario Brothers 2 into Super Mario Maker with that mushroom.
No Mouser, though?
No Mouser, but they do have music. They do have some music from
really?
The game, including like the title screen music and and the boss music for Birdo and Wart. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I can't wait to see what people craft with that. I'm sure.
Why aren't you crafting anything with that?
Well, I haven't loaded up Super Mario Maker 2 yet. But I don't do a whole lot of making in that game. I do a lot more playing other people's levels. So Fallout 76 got an update in the middle of this month, and apparently there's a bug where NPCs permanently steal your stuff.
I love it.
And Greg, you sent me the story via Slack, and I'm just like, this game cannot catch a single effing break. Like, it cannot catch a break. Like, this update and the launch on Steam was supposed to like reinvigorate everything. This was what people wanted. They wanted human NPCs in the game. Well, apparently the human NPCs permanently steal your stuff under some conditions.
That's great.
Yeah,
that is wonderful. Oh boy.
So that's unfortunate. I hope the game can get some semblance of player base back with that update.
Just
the Wastelanders update.
Take it out behind the shed.
They spent too much money on it. They
just
can't.
Put a bullet right in the back of its head.
They can't do that because then the next game that you release, are people going to want to buy it or decide to play your next online game if you put this one out by the woodshed to die?
Oh man,
it's just
ridiculous.
Comedy of errors on that game.
Comedy of errors with every like major update that is supposed to turn things around. There's always been some kind of problem. That's too bad. Anyway. Google Stadia. You remember Google Stadia?
Heard of it.
Well, yeah. Does Google remember Google Stadia? That's the real question.
At least for now they do. In early April, they had a promotion where they gave YouTube premium subscribers like 3 free months. Then they extended that to anyone who has a Gmail address.
Oh, really?
How'd you like 3 free months?
Oh,
and they
man.
sent the offer out. And apparently the combination of those two things has helped Stadia get over 1 million users.
Curious, how many
people
have a Gmail address?
I know.
Yeah.
It's a lot, right? Yeah. So yeah, they're over 1 million. And apparently now with that offer was basically you have 3 free months, but you have to sign up for the premium plan, right? And then once your subscription is done, or once your free trial's done, then they'll start charging you. Now they have the free tier of Google Stadia has officially launched. So you can have the 3 free months and go right into the free stuff.
As of 2 years ago, there were 1.5 billion active Gmail users. That's quite a conversion rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Stadia is not available in all places too.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh man.
Yeah. And there's one of those Stadia Connect things on Tuesday, but the last time they did one of those, they just showed off games that were already announced, and they really didn't have anything terribly exciting to say. So yeah, we'll see how that goes for them. And hey, that's all the news.
That's it, huh?
I collected up. Yeah. So let's get into what we've been playing.
All right.
I'll start us off. This week was actually kind of a big week in games for me, because Sea of Thieves got a big update that adds a
weird. Now I have to go for a few minutes.
It adds like an entire new progression loop on top of what was already present, and they increased the level cap to 75. So previously
level
it was
75
level
or bust.
50. Exactly, level 75 or bust. That's what I'm saying.
What level are you at right now?
Level 38.
I'm at like 50 something.
So you're not at 75 yet?
Not yet, no.
And I thought you were a fan.
It'll be a while.
Really?
But they added a system on top where more experienced players can raise a particular flag for any of the trading companies in the game and go for high value voyages for those trading
created
companies.
A class system is what you're saying.
And it gives you like a bonus multiplier on the treasure that you bring in. But there's a new faction called the Reaper's Bones that if they get up to grade 5 in their company, they can see everybody on the map who has an emissary flag and go sink them. So they've added like extra risk but also extra reward for sailing.
Say that word again.
Yeah.
Reward.
Here you go.
One more time.
Reward.
It's a tricky one. I'll give you that.
We're sailing on the seas. So, and accompanying that, there are now leaderboards as well for each company, which is pretty cool. So a fairly big update that has also changed some of player behavior, because now there's a PvP focused faction that is being incentivized to sink people who have emissary flags. Regular players who want to be left alone can sail with no flag, no emissary flag, and presumably maybe be left alone by other players. But of course, that's up to the people on the server whether they actually leave you alone or not. They also introduced cats as a pet in the game. Jesus. So now you can have cats. And my daughter is very excited about this change. And we got her some cats.
Yeah.
And she had a lot of fun just dressing up the cats, because you can dress them up into different costumes and have them placed around the ship. So
I have a cat for real.
I have 2 cats for real.
Well, then what's all the hubbub about
So these are virtual cats though, and they're much more exciting.
Why don't you just go buy a deck of cards?
Right.
I need to stream that game sometime soon.
What's that?
HB Arcade cards on the Wii.
Oh, okay. I thought.
But yeah, so this is kind of going into the 3rd year of Sea of Thieves updates, and they're still producing new content every single month, which is fantastic.
Well, all right.
I also played Predator Hunting Grounds.
Oh,
so
right,
was that out?
As you may remember, yeah, Predator Hunting Grounds came out on Friday. And it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game where one player gets to play the Predator.
I remember you murdering me at PAX last year.
4 people get to play a fire team that goes into the jungle, presumably to like do different missions. I think there's like 3 or 4 different mission types that in the game. There's 3 or so steps to each one. And the Predator tries to stop them from doing that and getting to the chopper at the very end. Yeah. So, and there's various ways that the game can play out. Oftentimes there's not really like a clear winner and loser.
Just like real life
in the game.
That's pretty deep.
Because while the Predator can be killed, the Predator player can also set off a self-destruct bomb.
Oh, cool.
That then other players have to either get out of the blast radius of or attempt to disarm it through a little matching puzzle that they have to do within the time.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Do they all gather around the Predator's little arm console and try to figure out?
No, only one player can do it.
Okay.
And try to figure it out.
How big's the blast radius?
It's pretty big. It takes about 10-15 seconds to escape from it. Okay. So if you don't like leave immediately, you're gonna get blown up.
I don't know about you, but I don't get too far in 10 or 15 seconds. Just saying. I feel like any blast radius would be too big.
Right. But so far the game, I mean, I really enjoy asymmetrical multiplayer games just in general, but I
really based on awesome 80s movies.
Friday the 13th, and I really like Dead by Daylight as well. And yeah, especially the Predator being an awesome movie series. Well, at least the first one.
It's an awesome series.
I keep meaning I'd like to
that has really one good movie in it.
Predator 2 just to see it again, because I remember seeing it once and thinking it was god awful, but I kind of just want to see it again, you know?
Yeah, I saw it once a long time ago.
You weren't wrong.
No,
about Predator.
I know I wasn't wrong. I'm not saying that I'm going to see it again and discover it was a good movie. Just saying I'd like to see it again.
Yeah.
But it's got that it's got the great music from the movie. It's very atmospheric. They have improved things quite a bit from the trial that they had at the end of March. The AI is not well, they still run up to you single file, but they're a little tougher to kill, and they do more damage on you. And it's the predator in the trial made really loud footstep noises. They've toned that down quite a bit, so you can still tell that the predator is near, but you have to be listening for it. It's not like right in your face as it was with the trial. But I've had a lot of good games playing it. I put one up on YouTube, and I put a clip up on Twitter from one of my games. It's fun. It's really fun. Yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know neither of you guys are going to be interested in it.
No, I do like the premise of it, and of course Predator's awesome, but those games aren't for me.
Well, I mean, it's the same kind of thing.
Me on it, CJ. Those games aren't for me.
Well, yeah, they're not for you. Especially I think this game having no like clear your side won, your side lost, because of course some people can escape the blast radius of the Predator, some don't. So like who won in that scenario necessarily? Which side won?
Yeah.
So I can understand the people probably who like a more clear cut, I won this match or I lost this match, wouldn't be into it, but I'm into it. Anyway,
CJ's down to clown.
Yeah. I've also been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, of course.
I have been playing it less.
Well, have you gotten to the point where the resident services building has opened now?
Yeah.
And KK has visited?
No.
Okay.
We were at 2 stars. But see, I think it's because I haven't played in a couple of days that things have kind of stalled out.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we have land sold for another resident, and that might bring us up to 3 stars.
Well, you can get land sold for multiple residents. You don't have to go one by one.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay. Just making sure.
But yeah, that we haven't really advanced too far.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We're getting there. Slow and steady. We're getting there.
Okay.
It's a nice place to live.
Yeah. That's all that matters. I haven't played too much with the update that they put out this week, the Nature Day and the shrubbery that you can now put down. I haven't played any with that stuff yet. You can also buy works of art from Red. I haven't done any of that yet.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet, but I know that Blathers is saying that he will accept works of art now. So
yes,
right, yes,
I did buy some artwork today. Okay. Finn was able to buy some yesterday. I could not for some reason. But Finn bought a painting yesterday. Luckily, it turned out to be legitimate. It was not a counterfeit painting.
Because that's the risk there.
Which is something you will run into. Sometimes you will buy a painting or a sculpture, and then you'll give it to Blathers, and he's like,
"You got ripped off, bro.
What is this? What are you trying to do to me here?" And he'll give it back to you.
Yeah.
Then you go hang it on your wall because it still looks
nice. You can absolutely. Yeah. There's no difference.
Right.
You can hang it in the wall, or you can sell it or give it away as a gift or whatever. But yeah, luckily the one Finn bought yesterday was legit, and maybe the first one is always legitimate. I don't know. But just because it would be kind of a bummer to have your first piece of art that you bought be fake. But
yeah.
So he bought that, and then I bought the Mona Lisa today. So
nice.
Was it real?
I don't know. It gets delivered the next day.
Okay.
Yeah. You buy it, and then it comes in your mail, and then you find out.
Shady.
Well, he's
they got to fold it to get it in the mail. That's going to ruin the painting.
Well, the Mona Lisa is a fair bit smaller than you expect it to be. So
it's more like a coffee
Stamp
table
size.
It actually is pretty small. I don't know if I've not seen it in person, but if you've ever actually seen like a picture of someone near the Mona Lisa is actually pretty tiny. But yeah, so I picked that because all the artwork is based on actual artwork, and This game, like once it's in your museum, if you go up and look at it, it'll actually tell you the name and the artist of the original piece, which I don't think the previous games have done. I don't believe. I may be remembering that incorrectly, but it's pretty cool that they will. You get a little actual art history.
Yeah.
So
that's
just
cool.
like you learn stuff about the bugs and fish, and dinosaurs, the prehistoric beasts. Bingo.
Thank you for machine supercomputers.
For those players who get into the turnip buying, there's a bit of a crisis this past week.
Stock market again.
Because
of this pandemic.
The Nook's Cranny.
We got to restart the stock market.
Yep. The country back up.
The Nook's Cranny shop. It gets another evolution after 30 days.
Spoiler.
Right.
Does.
You have 30 days and X amount of bells spent there.
Right.
I think it's like 200,000.
And we're not all rich like you, CJ.
But so that 30 days came up last week was when a lot of people who had played it right away at launch when that time came up.
Yeah.
So for people who also bought turnips, they basically lost an entire day because Nook's Cranny was closed for the remodel.
A day? A whole day?
A whole day.
The real victims.
That's going to happen.
I know.
What's going to happen? You got to deal with it.
You got to deal with it. Yeah.
What do you want?
So there were a lot of folks.
So instead of
desperately trying to sell their turnips elsewhere, me included.
Yeah. Well, you play the game.
Very much thanks to Hacker Alias Any Day Now on our Discord for allowing me to sell turnips.
Play the game. Sometimes you're going to lose.
That's right.
Yeah.
That said, I finally bought some turnips today, CJ.
I heard that.
Thanks to your nagging.
I was very proud of you.
There,
make some sweet bells.
Now you got to let me know if your store is selling or buying them for a lot, because I need.
Well, you got to check your own store too.
Well, oh really? Is that how it works? Thanks. I'm an idiot.
Don't just rely on people to tell you.
Well, I want you,
stupid head.
I want to know
you're a stupid head.
They might be worth more. You gotta keep me. If suddenly, hey, we're buying them for 1,000 bells each.
Well, that's just crazy.
I don't care. Crazy things have happened.
Like 600 bells is like the limit.
It's a crazy world we live in, man. You never know what's going to happen.
It's true.
I bought my turnips.
So you woke up before noon today and you bought turnips.
I did.
That's good.
I did. And I paid 98 bells each. So
all right, not bad. 98.
I gotta get a return on my investment. I got a room to pay off. Room.
Right.
I've been building. Yeah. I've been so busy building bridges and inclines that I need to expand my home.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Help me out, man.
I'll help you out.
Help me out. I need it. Man, I need my bells.
All right then.
I need my bells.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I also played Picross S4, but I'll let you talk about that, Phil. Since
that's very kind of you.
You're the Picross fan.
I am.
On the podcast.
So
Greg.
Hi.
You got for
I have not played Picross S4.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I don't want to ruin that, Phil. Just because I didn't pick it up yet, because I still honestly haven't finished that Lord of the Nazarick one yet. So still got lots of puzzles to do there. And nothing really new this week. Played Animal Crossing, finished Gargoyle's Quest, like I said I was going to do. Still a fantastic game. Hey, I'm getting a call. No, I'm not. Oh, I ordered an iPhone 11.
Did you?
Yeah. I was ready for an upgrade.
Was that a little text saying that it's ready for you?
No, when I picked up my iPhone, I remembered that I have a new one coming.
Oh. You play any free-to-play mobile games on that iPhone?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
LA.
I am no whale, CJ. I might look like one.
Oh, come on now. That's
wow.
I mean, as in I look Rich. That's what I was.
I see.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but really been getting back into racing, which I mentioned last week, and I actually joined an iRacing league and remembered that I'm not very good at iRacing, but still having a lot of fun. Finished 8th in the 100 lap race I was in yesterday.
All right,
congratulations.
Not bad. Didn't crash, which was even more impressive for me.
Very good.
And also, we used to have a couple of years back, mostly during the Gran Turismo 5 years, we had a group of Player One listeners who we would meet like every week and we did a series. It was a lot of fun. And then it kind of fell off because everybody got busier and, you know, a lot of us have kids and things like that. But now in these times we're in where people seem to have a lot of extra time.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that back up off the ground again. So we did a little bit of a few tests, a few races this past week with some of the old crew, and it was whole lots of fun. Because I've got the wheel back there. Storage.
See it?
There it is.
Got to use that as well, and found out that I'm not nearly as good as I used to be. So it's all good, but it was a lot of fun. And if people are interested in looking at that, I think it's only going to be once a month that we're going to do this. It's usually going to be like an hour and a half worth of racing. Head to our Discord. There's a racing channel in there. Highly recommend jumping in and showing your interest because it's good fun. And racing online with Gran Turismo, especially if you're racing with friends that have, you know, just people that you don't know. It's great. It's loads of fun. So please consider it. That's it though. I really haven't been playing much of anything else. Been working more on Generation 16. So
cool. All right, Phil.
Yes.
What do you got?
Well, I've been playing some Animal Crossing New Horizons this week. Have you seen this game?
No.
Apparently the strategy guide is supposed to actually ship from Amazon this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you'll know how to catch a bug.
Exactly.
Fish can be sold or
I have an
donated.
app on my phone that tracks all my fossils and the bugs I've caught and the fish I've caught. So
what app is this?
What is it called? It's like the travel guide. Animal Crossing New Horizons travel guide. And
the game tracks that for you.
The game does track it, but it's got like nice little things listing the fossils and their resale value as well. And you can check off when you have them. And if there's like multiple parts to it, you can check off when you get each part.
That's all tracked in the game, though.
Yeah.
I mean, when do you need to access that information when you are outside the game?
Well, if I need to know, like, okay, I've caught the bugs available this month and the fish and which ones are going away, and I want to track which ones I've done there, I can just do it there. It tells me how many of the...
I better go catch an oarfish because oarfish are leaving, like that sort of thing.
Tells you, it tells you exactly which ones are leaving, and you can just check them off when you have them. See?
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
Nice little app.
Is it officially licensed?
It is not an officially licensed app. It is unofficial.
Oh, I see.
But it is a very, very nice app.
Is it a free app?
No, it is a paid app.
How much did you pay for that unofficial?
I believe it was $3.99.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I'm okay with that, though.
Sounds like dark patterns to me.
I guess so. Wow.
Man. But, I posted this on Twitter, so most of you have probably seen this already. But I drew a pattern last night. I drew the final issue of Nintendo Power cover. So I know you saw it,
if you squint at it a little bit, it looks like the first issue of Nintendo Power. So kind of getting 2 for 1 there.
Well, not really, because it's Bowser's on this cover. It was Wart on the old one. It's different.
It's a little different.
But I whipped up the final cover of Nintendo Power because I got I got a magazine in the game now, and you can customize it with your own designs. Yeah. Which doesn't work quite as well as you would want with covers because the magazine is open.
Right.
So you have to kind of pretend like, the cover was printed on page 50 of this issue. Let's just pretend that. But I also got the recipe for a stack of magazines that you can customize, and the stack of magazines is just piles of magazines, and presumably you can put it on the cover, so I can.
That's cool.
Pretend I have a pile of Nintendo Powers sitting around my home.
An EGM cover.
That's what I wanted. I want to do a few covers if I can get around to doing them. So, what was it? Pink Gorilla, the store out here, the stores out here in Seattle.
Yeah.
Kelsey, who was one of the owners of Pink Gorilla, she because she's insane, has been whipping up magazine covers that Bubsy has appeared on for use in her game.
Oh God. Yeah.
So she posted it on Twitter before, and then she saw my Nintendo Power and responded to me and was like, I'm going to put it with my magazines. And it's just like, here's the, I mean, they look great. She did them all customized and they look fantastic, but it's like the EGM with Bubsy on the cover. And there's like I think a Game Pro and one other Bubsy magazine cover. It's hilarious though. It's really funny.
Bubsy.
But it's good stuff. But I also picked up that aforementioned Picross S4, which
talk to me, Goose.
I mean, what do you want?
Which does not carry over progress.
It does not, because I downloaded downloaded the demo and played the demo.
I did as well.
And it has like 10, 12 puzzles on it, all said. And I did all of them save the Mega Picross because I wasted my time with that filth. But I was disappointed because I loaded up the full game, because it unlocked because I had pre-purchased it, and my puzzles that I'd completed were no longer completed. So I was kind of bummed because I had to go through and tap A to get through the, do you want us to teach you how to play the game? No. Do you want us to show you how to, I see you're doing a 10 by 10. Maybe you need it. No, I don't.
Hit roulette.
Do you know how clip? Yeah, I know how clip across, Then I had to go back
I do like, however, somebody asked me this week, like where they should start with the Picross games. And the fact that you can really start with any of them, it treats, it does kind of treat you as a beginner, even though that may be frustrating to you as an expert.
CJ said start on Picross S4. Because
I'll have you know I started on S3.
The way CJ does it.
Yeah. I started on S3.
Okay. Yeah, you certainly can start on any of them.
You can start on any of them. Yeah. Because they have there are no features in 4 that are different than the first one, right?
Well,
or maybe they added like Mega
color.
And
Mega, color. I don't think Mega was in the first one. Color Picross definitely wasn't. I think Clip Picross may have come around in like S2,
but certainly no like user experience tweaks.
But I mean, it's Picross. It's it's not like they're.
That's right.
Yeah. The core Picross mechanic.
You can start anywhere.
Yes.
And have a fun time.
Yes, you can. I mean, you should go back and get all of them because
you should.
Picross.
Yeah. If you're not sure, you can download the demo for S4 and try it out.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But and I had to go and change all my options, to turn off the little hint prompt that it gives you at the start of every puzzle.
Wait, you can turn that off?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Turn that. I mean, and again, if you're just starting out, if you're just learning how to do it, having that little hint function at the beginning is great.
True.
But I need to turn that off, and it'll auto correct mistakes for you unless you turn that feature off, which I
leave that on.
Do you? I leave the feature on where it'll give you the little blue highlights to kind of direct you to what rows or columns you want to look at.
Such a good feature.
I will turn off the I turn off the hints and I turn off the autocorrect.
Well, let me ask you something, Phil.
Oh, please
Being
do.
a Picross master as you are, annoyed by any sort of noobish prompts that you were given.
Damn those noobish prompts.
Get good. I say.
Good. Are you worried about, like, if you make a mistake on a puzzle?
Let me tell you, I'm worried about a million things in life today, and Picross is not one of them.
If you make a mistake on a puzzle, do you go back and try to do it without mistakes? Am I playing it right if I don't replay?
Well, I don't, because
I made a mistake on.
Never
because
make
I
mistakes.
have
Here it comes.
Just no.
Yeah, I don't make mistakes. That's the first trick. Well, no, because I don't have the autocorrect on.
Is making mistakes.
I don't have autocorrect on, so if I make a mistake, I don't necessarily find out about it right away.
Oh, so it doesn't.
No.
Check that. Okay.
No. Yeah. With autocorrect off, I could fill in the entire thing, and it'll just be like,
yeah,
maybe you should go back and recheck that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't have that problem, but
okay.
I might, if I was playing with autocorrect on, I would probably be fussy enough where I'd be like, I messed up. I got to go start this over.
Yeah. Cause so in Picross S3, I had gotten to the 20 by 50 or the 10 by 15s or 20 by 15s, the bigger ones.
Sure.
20 by 15. Yeah.
And, I was making a lot of mistakes at first.
That'll happen.
I could not get through like a puzzle without making a mistake.
Now,
and yeah,
rest assured,
it marks it on the little page that you made a mistake in that puzzle.
Yeah, it'll say you made a mistake. It'll have that little scarlet A on there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I don't like.
But if you don't get anything for not having those little marks. You know, it's not like you're going to unlock something new if you get through it mistake free. So if you're fine having that little, icon show up next to that puzzle saying, oh, you made a mistake.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Again, we have bigger things to worry about these days.
It's true.
It's
very true.
So
yeah. You put everything in perspective for me, Phil.
Thanks,
Thank
Phil.
you.
It's a real... But that said, there's a lot of quality of life bumps in this new Picross that I think is really improving my outlook.
User experience enhancements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Picross is fantastic though. And going back to which one you should start on, if you do have if you're playing S4, the new one, and if you have the previous three, if you have save data for the previous three, you don't have to have completed a certain number of puzzles or anything in the old ones. You just have to have save data for them. You do unlock 3 new puzzles, one for 1, one for 2, and one for 3.
Cool.
And these are large puzzles. I believe they are 30 by 40.
Those are pretty big.
Dang.
Which I believe is the largest Picross puzzles that have been on any of these Jupiter releases.
Wow.
And I'm slowly going through one of them so far.
Now, is that because I remember in one of the previous games where you would do smaller puzzles that were part of a bigger puzzle.
Yeah.
But this is actually one big puzzle.
Yeah, because like the Clip Picross.
The Clip Picross, that's it. Yes.
And yeah, they've had where it's like, here's a giant 100 by 100.
Right, but do it in groups of 10
broken
by 10
up into
20 by 20.
it's a bunch of 10 by 10 puzzles or something.
Yeah,
this is actually a full screen 30 by 40. And boy, the numbers are kind of hard to read.
Yeah, you can imagine.
And I mean, I'm not even playing in handheld mode. I'm playing on my TV, and I'm still kind of squinting a little bit just to see the numbers because it's a bunch of tiny. It's like 40 columns of tiny little numbers,
right?
That I'm just again slowly working my way through. And you can pause the game and it'll save your progress, and you can back out of that puzzle.
Right.
If so you can break it up into multiple sessions if you want, because it's gonna take a while. But even if you pause and suspend that puzzle, you can pop into other modes and play some of the smaller puzzles.
That's nice.
You're not. Yeah, they
that's
don't.
Nice.
yeah, once you start a giant puzzle, you're not locked into that puzzle until you finish it. So,
okay.
But yeah, I'm having a blast. I love me some Picross.
I love Picross.
Is good stuff. And I again, Greg was talking about that. What is the Nazarick or what's it called?
Lord of the Nazarick.
Yeah, the anime based one where it's like that was fine. It's good, but it's based on some anime that I had never heard of and I've never seen. So it's like, the finished puzzles are always like, oh, this is
the face of some character.
Glartok, the maniacal.
It's funny because I was playing it today, and as you get into the bigger puzzles, I find that I actually find them to get pretty difficult just because of the fact that their faces, they're all very much the same structure, and a big chunk of that structure is nothing.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, where it's like all the puzzles kind of have a bunch of stuff around the border as defining the negative space, and then you just have a big blank. So it does kind of feel like you're doing the same puzzle over and over again. Yeah. Which it's like,
but I kind of just want to finish those.
Yeah, I can,
because I usually do every puzzle in a Picross game, and then I'll jump into the next one.
Exactly.
And it's nice to just have, I used to tear through them, but now I just kind of like to have them, pick them up once in a while and just play for 20 minutes. And,
4 is waiting for you, Greg.
I can't.
It's waiting for you. It'll be
300
around
puzzles, right? Something like that.
Something like that. I don't
Over
know.
300.
Should last me a week.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot
of puzzles.
Yeah, it's good stuff though. So very, very pleased with that. Other than that, I haven't been playing too much else. I did. This is another thing I talked a bit about on the Twitters. I was sitting around this week and I realized that, years and years and years ago, 16 years ago, it turns out, if we're counting.
A legitimate child?
Yes.
Congratulations.
And we met. Didn't go well. No, that was when I was my short-lived stint as a producer over at Backbone Entertainment, where I cranked out like half a dozen plus plug and play TV games for Jack's Pacific while I was there during my like half a year when I was there. And I realized I don't have any mint inbox copies of those.
Oh, okay.
I have them all, but I'd opened them just to mess around with them and stuff like that. And I was like, I should really have some mint inbox versions of these just to have. Yeah. So I popped on the old Electronic Bay and found some and ordered. I didn't order all of the ones I worked on, just a couple of them so far.
Now, were they collector pricing or was it fairly reasonable?
You know what? The licensed ones, go figure, were the pricier ones.
Yeah.
Although, well, let me see here. I'm popping open my
popping open the bay.
Let's see. So I bought the big one, the one everyone
Dilly Dabbler,
SpongeBob SquarePants Dilly Dabbler. 5 point whatever million people have watched my video of that on YouTube. Somehow, for some reason,
sometimes it hits. Like I have a video of some random race in Mario Kart 8 that has like 50,000 views.
Really?
Yeah, didn't make a penny off it because Nintendo,
of course,
strikes against all those. But
I didn't, I didn't monetize mine just because I was like, I didn't want to run into any sort of weirdness with Nickelodeon or whatever. Yeah. So 5.3 million people have watched that.
All right.
That video for some reason. I also have a Nobby Boy video that 10,000 people have watched. I don't know why. Also, a video of my old cat making a little predator noise has 48,000 views.
All right.
This 46-second video of my cat kind of making clicking noises. But whatever the case is, SpongeBob SquarePants Dilly Dabbler. That's the big one.
Yeah.
I ordered that. Again, these are all, still in their package and everything. That one I paid $50 for.
Okay.
And these were retail back in 16 years ago. They were probably $20.
Yeah.
$20 new. So yeah, I paid a lot for that one again because it's a big license. The other one I paid a lot of money for was another $50 went towards the Spider-Man one that I worked on. And then the other two I got for like $15 each. I got the World Poker Tour game that I produced. And that one was kind of neat because it has a little LCD screen on the actual controller, because the controller is kind of shaped like a poker table, kind of like a Vegas poker table that you would go up to with the dealer and stuff. But it has a little LCD screen on it, so you could because it's like Texas Hold'em, so you can you can see like your couple cards that you have in the fold, if I remember my poker term. I don't play poker. But I believe it's in the fold where you have like the two cards, so you can see your two cards on the screen, and then after you do your turn, you hand it to the next person, and their cards come up on the screen.
Interesting.
That was because you have to keep those two cards secret, from the other players. So that's how you got to play multiplayer. And then I ordered one of the unlicensed ones that I worked on, which was Super Silly Makeover. Which is like a Mr. Potato Head kind of variant game that they wanted. So, but yeah, so I got those all mint in package on their way. So I'm very excited about that. So
that's excellent.
Those are big and unwieldy, and their packages are designed in such a way that they don't stack well. Right. So they're very awkward to store, but I figured I needed to have them just because I worked on them. So
nice.
that was my week. That was my
telling
week.
myself that because for the last 5 years, the games that we've produced have all been HTML5 games, which means a lot of them aren't even online anymore.
Right.
Oh man.
And I keep telling myself that I'm going to go back and get some video
of
those just to have a record.
Yeah.
Of them, but I have never gotten around to that. I should. I've got lots of time right now. I should do that this week.
Do you
feel similarly about the games that I worked on at Adult Swim, because Flash is being deprecated. And everything very shortly, and then the iPhone games that I worked on, a lot of them are not on the store anymore.
I know the one iPhone game that we worked on you cannot get anymore.
Yeah, really? Because
I think a copy might, or two iPhone games. I think I might have copies on my iPad, but I'm not sure because I haven't even fired up my iPad in ages.
Because for a lot of those games, they had to be updated to run on 64-bit hardware, which if you didn't do that, then it wouldn't run, period. And then before that, there was the wider screen. So none of those games that I worked on are available anymore. Like
games have become
so disposable. Only like one or two are available in the store anymore, which sucks.
Now, CJ, how many games did you work on at Adult Swim Games that received physical releases? If any.
Headlander.
Okay,
so limited run.
Was that 2 limited runs?
Okay,
you do
that.
You do have that. Okay.
Yeah. Rick and Morty Virtual Reality.
Yeah, that's right.
Hard copy of that.
Okay.
Toe Jam and Roll Back in the Groove.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of. I mean, you worked on it.
I worked on it, but Adult Swim didn't end up publishing it.
There was a physical version of Robot Unicorn, right? But that was a machine, wasn't it?
Yes, we did an arcade. We did a stand-up arcade machine,
right?
Based on the Flash game.
That.
Yeah,
I forgot about it. Was that the first one or the second one?
First one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy
too, but I loved the first game.
It was super fun.
How many? Do you have any idea how many of the? It was like a full-sized arcade unit.
Yeah,
like for what Dave and Buster's and stuff like that, or
no, it was like we brought it to shows and things.
Oh, okay, it was like a kind of a promotional gimmick kind of thing.
Cool to have it.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that
if it even exists?
Do you?
It was like an arcade PC sort of build.
Do you know how many of those you guys made? Was it just the one? Or Okay.
One.
Is it still like at the Adult Swim offices? As far as you know?
So. No, I think somebody took that home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Should have been you.
Yeah.
I don't have room for that.
That should be right behind you.
Make room for that.
That would have been fun, but no.
Yeah. And how many of your games, Greg, do you have all your games physical copies?
Anything that has physical releases, yeah, which weren't that many. I mean, like Madden 12 and Madden 13, Robotech, Spy versus Spy,
right?
The Backyard Baseball on the 360 and the Wii.
Yeah. So Baller Beats.
Beats, I have a copy of. That's actually still in the box.
That's the one that because it comes with the basketball, right?
Comes with basketball.
That's pretty great.
That's right. And then I have digital versions of most of the stuff that I did for like PC and like on the Wii, I have the HP Arcade disc golf and cards, and
nice
on the Wii U, I have not Roller Coaster Tycoon. Although that's another thing that I don't have. We worked on Roller Coaster Tycoon update for iOS that I don't think I have a copy of.
Oh, okay.
I like I say, like for the last 5 years while I've been working where I am now, plus the 2 or so years before that, almost everything we did was digital.
Right.
And I don't have copies of all those
that
things.
Sucks.
Which really bums me out a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And I've never, and it's partially on me too, that I've never really taken the time to make sure that I have them. And now it's definitely too late for some of them.
I thought I saw, I mean, this doesn't help out with any of the like iPhone stuff, but I thought I saw not that long ago, like within a year, there was some group that was going around collecting like Flash games, and I think like maybe HTML5 games.
HTML5 games, you can usually find those on various repos on the web.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this in news like 2 months ago or something.
Did we?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a project that was doing that, took a lot of the games off of Newgrounds and Congregate and stuff. And the unfortunate thing with that, at least in terms of the Adult Swim games, is that on our website, we would put security in them so they wouldn't run unless they were being run off of the adultswim.com domain.
That's just it.
So
gotcha.
even if a project like that did save those games,
right,
they wouldn't necessarily be able to run.
But that's the same with our stuff because it's almost all licensed. Almost all of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
But I mean, it's
something.
The data is preserved, even if it can't be immediately accessed. It's still
I don't know. It's I have mixed feelings about how that works because I mean,
this is one of those things though, like working for a website where it's not tangible.
Actually,
and I think you, Greg, posted on Twitter earlier today about the one issue of Expert Gamer that you don't have.
Yeah.
But being able to have like that physical work, like you worked on these things and you have a copy of it, is so different than working on something that's digital and having it disappear off the face of the earth.
I would love to. I mean, because my career in the industry started on the web, and anybody who's anybody in the mid 90s who did that too, like I would love to have virtual versions of Gaming Age, or at least the review archive and the preview archive that I contributed to. Those are gone. I mean, unless Jim Cordera, who still runs that site, unless he has physical backups from 25 years ago, they're gone. Right. And then there were 2 sites before that I worked on that I wouldn't even know how to begin looking for, but they're not on the web anymore.
Really,
they might be in the flashback machine, but you only get snippets there. So
that's about the Wayback Machine.
The Wayback, sorry,
could be on that one.
But no, going back to I have mixed feelings about how sort of disposable games have become, and especially when you get into HTML5 games, because most HTML5 games, especially the licensed stuff, they're small, they're tiny little games. They're not hugely deep. Like you're not ever going to compare them to like a Metal Gear or a Super Mario Brothers or something like that.
And the audience that's playing them and becoming addicted to them are too young to know about preservation of games that they enjoy.
But that's the thing. Having worked on them, it's like there's still a lot of work that goes into those, and it's just so disheartening to see it disappear. And nowadays, you see it disappear in a matter of months.
Yes,
it's not years.
That's true.
So it's too bad. But yeah, usually when I see physical versions of anything that I have worked on in like a bargain bin somewhere else, like I must have half a dozen copies of Robotech Invasion at this point. Just because I like having a few of them around. They're not all in great shape, but I like having copies. So but yeah, it's too bad, and it's something that I always keep telling myself I'm gonna go do, and I never really get around to doing because I'm sure I could find most of the stuff out there, but I don't think I'll ever find all of it. There's one in particular that I would love to find somewhere. I can't even find it listed. It was like a music maker that we did at HB Studios for the DSiWare platform.
Oh, really?
I couldn't even tell you the name of it. It was terrible. I know it was terrible, but I can't even find a record of it existing. I know it came out, but I can't find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, man.
All right. Should we get into some tweets now?
Yes. Would you like me to do the song?
Yes, please.
Okay. Which I believe the song may have been on Happy Days. Right?
I think it might have been.
Wasn't this on Happy Days back in the day?
Do it to the tune of Happy Days.
Monday, Tuesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy
the tweet
days.
song to
Tweedledee, deedledee dee. Tweedledee, deedledee dee. Rockin' Robin. Like that?
Go.
That was a tune.
I like that. That was something.
Tweedledee, tweet, tweet. A tweet, tweet.
Alrighty. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias, Georgie Boy, who says, how big are your guys?
Georgie Boy, floating to the sky, so fancy free.
Yeah. How big are your guys' collection of games, roughly? Any standout personal favorites or valued ones you treasure? Which probably are the ones we worked on.
I guess we just talked about some of them. I love the Dilly Dabbler.
Yeah.
My collection's about 3,000.
Really?
Yeah. Whoa.
How about treasured?
I mean, anything I worked on is a great answer.
Right.
There's some rare stuff in there that I'm glad I have, like on the Sega CD, having Snatcher and KO Flying Squadron and the Space Adventure and things like that. Pretty happy. Those are pretty high value items at this point. So, I'm more, as far as treasured items, for me, it's more hardware. Been collecting Genesis and Mega Drive hardware for a long time, and I'm pretty much at a point where I've got all of it.
Yeah.
So that includes things like a Laser Active and the Iowa boombox that had a Sega CD and Mega Drive built in, and so those are the things I sort of treasure more as far as my collection goes.
Yeah. My collection, I still have a pretty solid collection. I mean, certainly once I got rid of my NES games, that took a sizable chunk out of my collection. Yeah. But I mean, I still have a fair number of like SNES and Genesis and certainly, the more modern stuff. Although I've been kind of slowly purging a lot of that stuff over the years.
Never really gotten around to doing that.
Really? Yeah. Like I used to have hundreds of PS1 games, and those are mostly all gone. I've been like, I'll still hang on to the games I really like the ones that are really important to me. I've hung on to, but yeah, my collection is certainly diminished. I do still have all my old Game Boy games, the old black and white Game Boy games. I'm really, I really love those just because I do have an odd affection, as I've talked about on this show before, for the old black and white Game Boy games.
There's nothing odd about affection for old black and white Game Boy games. The old black and white Game Boy was a great system.
Oh yeah,
I saw Jeremy Parrish actually mention something on Twitter this week, and I
saw that
too. And I totally relate, because being a Sega Genesis centric channel on Generation 16, I see the exact same thing. People are really not that interested in watching Sega Genesis related content, and he was saying that doing stuff about the old Game Boy was the same thing, because he covered that Sunsoft game that never came here this week, and it was a fantastic video.
It was Trip World.
Thank you. Fantastic video. Apparently a fantastic little game. And he said, basically his numbers didn't exceed his subscriber numbers.
Yeah,
which isn't what you want.
Relatively nobody was watching
the
Trip World video, which is
just kind of like, you do original Game Boy content and nobody watches, and I said, like, that is such a shame, because it's such an old system now that I feel like it's along the same lines as what people are doing with the Saturn now, and also with the Genesis, because Sega's actually being so active and bringing those games back around. Is a lot of people didn't experience them, and especially the younger people now, and it's too bad that they're not even looking at it.
And actually, because I saw Jeremy tweeting about that as well, and that actually prompted me to go back, and I've been kind of rewatching his older Game Boy World videos, because I've certainly watched them all before, been watching them again, and it's such some
great stuff, man.
Some great stuff. I mean, there's some terrible stuff in there, but
sure,
Jeremy always does a very entertaining job of kind of going through, with a pretty fair and critical eye. Like he certainly doesn't, just bash on the crap. He gives it a fair shake, but
it really represents something that you don't see now in video games, which is, I mean, they were dealing with pretty low spec systems in general back in the late 80s and early 90s, but then you got the Game Boy, which was really low spec compared to like the NES, but they wanted to emulate the NES as much as possible. Right, so it's like, to see what they did to make that happen. Like I say, I played through Gargoyle's Quest this week, and Gargoyle's Quest is still a fantastic game, and that was like from 1990.
This is about a third, for you watching the video, this is about a third of my old school Game Boy collection right here. I'm just gonna pick a game at random. Let's see.
Voxel.
Let's see what it is. Burger Time Deluxe.
Nice.
So there you go. There you go. One of my beloved, many beloved. I'll put that back right between Bubble Bobble.
Yeah.
And Bust a Move. Something or other.
Does it have the baby blowing the bubble on it?
It does not. It has a very poorly rendered and this is a Game Boy Color cartridge. Bust a Move Millennium.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, badly rendered Bub, I believe, is the green one, and not Bob. Here's my Castlevania games as well. Castlevania Adventure.
Talking about the Castlevania Adventure was a flawed game, but I still enjoy it. There we go. Great soundtrack.
Yes.
In my collection,
sorry.
I don't know how many games total, but starts off like with the NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo stuff. I don't have very many of those.
Yeah. I was about to say the exact same thing.
In general. And where it really blows up is PlayStation 1, Saturn.
You're using the magazine?
When I was at the magazine, right, exactly. My library blows up.
Getting a bunch of free games.
In part because of free games, yes. Yeah. And there's a bunch in there that I probably could get rid of. Like, I don't need a Bug's Life for PlayStation 1.
In part because during those years, we would go out every Tuesday and buy new games.
Yeah.
But DVDs. At that time in my life, a Tuesday at Best Buy, I'd buy a game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was just the thing that happened all the way through the PS2 days and original Xbox days. So I have a lot of PS2 games, a lot of original Xbox, a lot of GameCube, and then my collection kind of with it gets smaller, shrinks down a little bit as we get to PS3 and 360, and when I was sort of out of the press.
So, that's like looking at mine, like with the number that I threw around, I've been trying to catalog my collection a little bit too to get a better idea. And just Xbox and Xbox 360 is like 400 games.
Man.
Yeah.
But it's because they were all free.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then when I left the press, I was so used to getting new games all the time that I was still spending way too much money on games.
There's that
for
too.
A few years. So
there's that too. And before kids and all that stuff, like spending a lot more money on games and DVDs than I do now, for sure.
Yeah. I think if there's any other. I mean, I still, when I sold my NES collection, one of the, I did hang on to my copy of Little Samson. So I do still have that. I still have my Panasonic Q, which
that's a pretty
great to have.
Yeah.
And then like my old Game and Watch games that I have, I'm pretty proud of those. So
I love my Turbo Express, not because I ever play it, but just because I still think it's the most beautiful handheld system ever made.
So great.
The lines on that thing are the best.
Love the Turbo Express.
Yeah. So I have a couple of signed games that are obviously highlights of my collection.
Right.
Some like Yuji Naka signed Sonic Adventure 2
on
the Dreamcast. I have like Wind Waker on GameCube signed, which is awesome. Like I have a bunch of those. DOA Beach Volleyball signed by Itagaki. Just a bunch of those that are fun to have in the collection. But I think Panzer Dragoon Saga might be the highest value thing that I have. I don't know.
Yeah, I was lucky to be working at the website when all that stuff came out, so got all those for free, which was nice.
Oh, look at you.
Burning Rangers and House of the Dead and
the Shining
Panzer
Force
Saga, Shining Force.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias KSO514, who says, name a game in which you were not sold on its concept, but fell in love with it once you started playing it. My example would be the Bust a Groove series.
Oh, that's good example.
Bust a Groove is so good.
Gitaru Man is right there for me. I didn't even know what it was before I played it for the first time.
So wait, I'm sorry, was it Bust a Groove that they were talking about?
Yeah, he says the Bust a Groove series.
Bust a Groove, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bust a
Groove, which was the rhythm game.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a soundtrack I'd like to have.
I remember seeing screenshots for Parappa the Rapper and not being sold on what sort of game it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But of course, once playing it, I was totally into it.
Crackdown for me.
Crackdown.
I was not when I first
started on that either.
Hearing about Crackdown, I was just like, it kind of came off as like a GTA clone or something, which obviously it's not, but that's how I was envisioning it in my head. So I was just kind of completely ignoring it until YouTube started going on about how great it was.
Only to find out it's like the greatest superhero game made up to that point.
Right? I know.
It's so good.
Yes, it is.
For me, maybe BioShock. So I never had played any of the previous games of that ilk, like System Shock. Never played it. So I wasn't like sold on it from pedigree or anything like that. So when that demo hit Xbox Live, that sold me on the game.
I was sold based on the premise on that one.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the underwater city. And
I mean, I thought that was
sort
a
of
cool
set in the
idea
50s
for sure, but I didn't know if the gameplay was going to be any good.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. Seeing the intro to BioShock was enough to make me want to play it.
Oh, going down.
Yeah.
The bathysphere or whatever.
Yeah. From the crash to swimming to the, what was it, like the lighthouse?
Yeah.
And then getting into the bathysphere and heading down, and then when you see the whole city reveal itself, it's just like,
man, that first game's so good.
I want to play this.
Shame about the third game.
It is a shame. It is a shame. Those are coming out on Switch soon.
You gonna buy
might be time to replay. I don't know.
You can get them a lot cheaper on another console, CJ.
From
it's like $20 for the set everywhere else.
Some sort of price glitch on PSN, and I got the collection for something like $5. So
nice.
I could play it on PS4.
You could. You won't.
I could.
But you'll buy it again on Switch anyway.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you will.
No. I don't think so. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Pio Rowe, who says, I started Trials of Mana on the Switch, and to quote a former host, it has many quality of life improvements that make it more enjoyable to play. Which classic 16-bit games would you like to see remade with quality of life improvements? I would like to see Square revisit Final Fantasy VI.
I would like to see them do that too, just because when they revisited 3 and 4, they were fantastic.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if anybody even really remembers that, but they were DS games.
Yes,
both
you're
of them were
right.
DS games, and they were really good.
Didn't they do them on the PSP, or was that 1 and 2?
1 and 2 came out on the PSP for sure.
Right.
Don't remember if they went any further than that. But no, this got me thinking, and I really hope this is going to be part of the Sega Ages collection, but I would really love them to give Phantasy Star 2 the same treatment they gave the original Phantasy Star.
Yeah.
Where they basically pull all the grinding out of it.
Yes.
Because I think that a lot of people would enjoy experiencing Phantasy Star 2 without it being hard as nails.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'd love to see that.
I was gonna say Metroid, the original NES Metroid, but we do
with,
have
mapping
missions
and everything.
But we do have
Zero Mission.
Yeah, we do have Zero Mission, which is kind of that anyway.
Although
that's a really good game.
It's been almost 20 years since that came out too.
Is it really?
That's true.
Early 2000s, man.
So old.
Yeah.
So
remember,
old.
it's weird that 2000 was 20 years ago when 1980 was only 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's weird. It was weird then. When we came across that fold in time.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say Metro.
We're talking about a retro game now, man.
Where you wouldn't have to map it out for yourself. You could just have a map.
Or like the first like the 2 NES Zeldas would be great to see redone with kind of
to see them done like the Link's Awakening, not necessarily the same graphic style for sure, but just that sort of remake.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Which, I mean, I would be surprised if we didn't see more of that type of thing come down the pike at some point soon, right? Like, because obviously Link's Awakening was very well received.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll do Super Mario Brothers 2 first.
Do the rumor that they're doing game, please. 64, right? Or is that just a straight? They're doing 64, aren't they?
Well, that was a rumor. That's a rumor. Yeah,
that's a rumor. I hope that comes true, though.
I hope it comes true too. That'd be great. But what quality of life enhancements do you want to see in Super Mario 64?
Twin stick controls.
Yeah.
Better camera control. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big.
That's really all it needs.
I'd like to see them add all the extra stuff that was in the DS version, like the multiple playable characters and that sort of thing.
A lot of people forget about that version.
Yeah.
That version also I found wasn't very playable.
No, because he used the analog stick on the touch screen, right?
Yeah, it was using the touch screen, or you could use the D-pad.
That little stylus you could attach to your
that little thumb nubbin.
Thumb nubbin.
Yeah.
I wish I still had that.
did. I used that.
Me
to play
too.
Super Mario.
It was on the little plastic nubbin on the strap that you'd.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it had better graphics than the N64 when they had up to the graphics.
Did, but the DS wasn't like a graphical powerhouse or anything.
No, but I mean, it looked
better
nicer.
graphics.
It looked nicer than the N64.
Sure.
I mean, let's not pretend the N64 had great graphics.
Well, no.
But then you had like playable Luigi and Wario and stuff like that.
It'd be really fun if they did something like the Halo Master Chief Collection does, where you can press a button and go to old school graphics.
That would be cool.
And have like your Mario Odyssey graphics or the classic ones. Yeah.
That'd
be fun. Who knows?
That would be great to see.
That would be. All right, let's do this one from Acroelius.
You know what? Real quick. I'm going to go back and say also, I would love to see Capcom do new versions of the 2 Mega Man Legends games. Because the Mega Man Legends games they're both fun games. I really like Mega Man Legends, but at least the first one came out. The first Mega Man Legends game predates the analog controller.
Right.
Correct. Yeah, I hate when you go back to old PS1 games and realize this.
Yeah.
This predated the analog controller.
You're using the D-pad to move, and then like the shoulder buttons kind of rotate you around. And the Legends 2
style
has the same problem, if I remember correctly. But to be able to play the Legends games with modern controls and bumped up resolution on the texture, because I mean those games both they're PS1 games, so they look like PS1 games, but the given the limitations they were working with, the graphics are fantastic. You know, the textures are really nice and bright and colorful and cartoony and just chock full of personality. But I would love to see that with a big resolution bump and modern controls. I think a lot more people who kind of blow off the Legends games because they're not traditional Mega Man games would really end up getting into those if they had a bit of a modern makeover.
Yeah.
So Mega Man Legends, that's my answer.
Here you go. All right, let's do this one from Acrelius Sean Capri, who says, I'm heading into the next generation with zero plans of upgrading my display. I'm still playing on a 1080p plasma and I like it a lot. Should I be putting more of a priority on upgrading my TV and preparing for all those teraflops for what? For flap into my retinas. Wait, what? Flops for flapping into my retinas? Something like that? I don't know.
Doing what with your what now?
Should he be preparing for all those teraflops or flaps?
I believe flapping teraflops into your retinas prevents coronavirus.
It's going to be painful.
Yeah.
It's like getting UV light into your body, right?
Yeah. I've been inhaling a lot of light lately.
I think doing what you're doing, because it's exactly what I've done. I'm still have my 1080p television and my launch day PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah.
Probably the best way to experience a real upgrade on the next systems, if you go to a 4K or something.
Yeah.
That's actually racing the other night on GT. I was talking about all that, and some of the guys were saying like you're gonna experience such a change. Yeah, because I am saving to get a 4K television in time for these systems to launch, and it's just they say it's gonna be like a whole new world.
Totally.
So pretty excited about that. But I don't know. I mean, all that being said, I'm okay with my 1080p television and everything looks really nice.
Yeah, these games are going to look really good. I mean, I think for people who do hang on to their old sets, they're still going to have benefits there, especially in terms of frames per second, right? I don't think there's any particular pressure. Of course, I did buy a 4K television soon after I got a Xbox One X, but yeah, I don't think you should necessarily put a priority on it. No, if you're like visuals are everything, and I need it to be absolutely the highest quality, then yes. But otherwise, no, I think you're fine.
Would you say that it's as important as it was to upgrade to an HD TV when the 360 and the PS3 came out?
No,
because that was a pretty big step.
It was a big step, but I think in terms of, for me, I think it's how far away you are sitting from your television. Like if you're really going to get as much benefit out of it, I think there's a website that tells you like what the benefit is depending on where your couch is from the television. Like with a 4K set, being closer to the TV and having it be a larger display is where you start to see the real benefits, because you see finer detail in everything. But if you have a 1080p TV and your couch is 15 feet away, I don't know that you necessarily need that upgrade, right? Like it all sort of depends on the space that you've got. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes, I'm looking forward to load times being improved and frame rate. Those will be the good upgrades there. All right, let's do one more.
Okay, you say so.
Let's do this one from Macarelius Nordvest Lending, who says, which role do you think Bruce Campbell should play in Doctor Strange? Can you think of someone better than Bats the Basset Hound?
Well, the thing about Bruce Campbell, let me tell you about Bruce. He is going to be in Mr. Strange in a stunning dual role that will have you on the edge of your seat. He's going to play the magic cape that Mr. Strange wears around his neck as he flies through the sky casting wizard spells. And he will also be playing the head wizard Dumbleman, who of course brings Iron Face back to life to the world of the living so that they can fight the evil Dr. Purple, who is the strongest man in the world with his magic gloves. It's going to be very exciting.
I didn't realize that Sam had already done all his prep for the next.
Apparently.
I've written the script. It's all ready. I've already begun shooting. Of course, we have to
social
shoot.
distancing.
Of course, we are keeping all our quarantine safety protocols in check. We've all got the Zooms loaded up on our computer personal PCs, and we are recording our movies through that. So I'm snipping and clipping and cutting everyone out and merging them together with computer technology.
Cutting them out together?
You can do all sorts of things today with these computer machines. I understand there's a computer machine that can fall in love with a human lady. We will not be using those computers for my movie film, though. We will be using them to make extravagant extravaganzas, the likes of which you ain't never seen before. It's going to be a blast.
All right, then.
Oh, I got the, hold on. Alexa, stop.
I just noticed it light up.
There we go. She's looking forward to my movie real bad. But it's going to be great. We got the star of the movie, of course, playing Mr. Strange himself. You know him. You may have seen him in Master Detective, the series, on the British BB Club. I'm referring, of course, to Bandicoot Happenstance.
Yes.
The greatest actor of our time, right after Bruce, of course. Yep. Belly Flop Chicken Scratch is gonna be an Oscar winner. Don't even worry about it.
Are we done?
No, I can keep going if you'd like.
I think we are.
You got to remember, you got to step in at some point. So you just keep going.
This is what the audience wants, clearly.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Lots of content in the backlog to read.
You'll find Generation 16 episodes.
Let me tell you, I'm over a third of the way done this gigantic rough edit. It's getting there. It's speeding up now. I'm excited. It's looking good.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. You'll find show notes and links to everything that we talked about in this episode. Plus, you will also find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode and racing games in that one channel called Racing with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up whatever podcast listening app you use. We're also on Stitcher Radio. We're on Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch archives of our shows or watch us live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 Podcast for all your P1 Podcast / needs. Who is your OTP of the P1P?
You know me.
Answer in the comments below.
Hit that bell.
We record our show right around this time. It's usually 5:30 specific on the Sundays. So tune in, won't you? Follow our Twitter account @P1 Podcast to find out when we will be doing our next live show. But like I said, it's usually this time. If you like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ needs to buy that robot unicorn attack machine from whoever took it.
That's long gone
from the office. So you know, help him fund that. It'll make a nice background. You can move that cat tree somewhere else.
There you go.
And it'll go right there. It'll look magnifique. And you know what, friends, Patreon friends, I kid, of course. CJ doesn't steal much money from our Patreon slush fund, but your money does help keep our show going. It helps pay for this Zoom and all that other crap that we have to do. And as a thank you to our Patreon supporters of the $5 tier, you do gain access to a special weekly bonus show. Cheap.
We still haven't found a spot for this.
I know, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We should go back to the old outro now that I've actually kind of figured out this new one. But we crack wise, we have fun, we play games.
True.
We usually play some sort of wacky game. And we have a good grand old wholesome time.
In fact, every Thursday during this pandemic, you get an episode of the after show from the vault.
Oh man!
So this past week was with guest Sean Capri, who we just read a tweet from.
Yeah,
that was going to an EGM review game.
These are old.
These are old after shows. That's right. That go
like
up
a couple years old.
2 years.
So For our Patreon supporters, don't worry, they don't
get any better
new stuff away for free.
But they also don't get any better.
They're getting the old stale stuff. But is this just a special thing that we're doing during the pandemic?
For now.
Yeah. So you heard CJ, folks. Get out there, take off those masks, mingle with everyone in your community. Let's raise that curve back up.
If you want them to continue,
that'll guarantee you some old after shows for free. So go ahead, cough on everyone you want, grab people's faces.
It's all terrible advice.
Terrible.
You know what? Forget about those elbow bumps. Forget about those little ankle kicks. Forget about shaking hands. Just give everyone a good old lick. Just a big sloppy lick on their cheeks.
Don't listen to anything.
Don't encourage that.
Free bonus episodes every week, as long as we can keep this pandemic going.
No,
I was being sarcastic.
We couldn't tell.
After consulting with my advisors.
Oh, right. It was sarcasm.
It has been decided that I was being sarcastic. So don't do those things that I specifically said to do. Anyway, if you have a couple bucks left over, go over to generation-16.com. You will find there the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is, no sarcasm here, outstanding web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you. And of course that you're only paying per episode.
Paying per episode. And hey, it's been 3 months since the last one. So
what a bargain.
There you go.
Bargain at twice the price.
And weekly video logs for $5 plus patrons. And as we've spoken about before, and Phil is very happy to know that those are being recorded now in my home, not while I'm driving.
Yeah. He's doing something else dangerous in his house.
Trying to record anything with 3 kids running around is pretty risky.
Oh, true. Zingo. And yeah, that's that. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil,
for all of this
whatever it is you do.
For those not listening, I'm waving my hand in kind of a nonchalant fashion. An all-encompassing this. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Phil. And hey, just want to say I love you to everybody in Nova Scotia. It's been a rough week.
Yeah. It has been a rough week for Nova Scotia. That's like a typical Tuesday for the US. So now you know what it's like to live down here, Greg. Just multiply that times 365.
Boom.
Ugh.
No thanks.
What a world. And of course, thank you, our wonderful, wonderful listeners. We love each and every single one of you. You are the tip top, the mit mop, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oodles.